What's going on, YouTube? It's MT Roadside coming back at you with another video. Today I want to talk about how much I get paid with AGERO and why I chose to lower my costs with AGERO for calls. It's tricky sometimes. This is only my opinion. Who's ever watching who have AGERO, I don't know how you look, how their calls are, how they come out, and you know what they give you. So I look at all of that when it comes down to their calls, and I'm only speaking about AGERO calls, not any other motor clubs that comes out, only AGERO. When I say I look at their calls, I look at how they come out. Like you can be north and then they'll come south, but 2 minutes later you'll get a south of where you are. But if you took that call going north, it's like, man, why did I take this call and now I can't do the south call because now you're going north, if that makes sense. Let me put it in simplest terms. AGERO sometimes will send you about 3 calls less than a minute. And sometimes you have the excitement to take the first call that comes out because, yeah, you want your money. And I understand that. Everybody do. I do the same thing. I'm guilty of it. And I still do it to this day. But the way how it works is like they send you calls in spurts. It's just like, I guess, YouTube, like their algorithm. If you notice, I don't know if you guys do, AGERO actually don't like dispatch calls to you guys. It's set up just like a computer type thing, and they go by your completion, where you're going, the zip codes that you have on your list sheet, and you know the time frame. All that is going to play a part, and that's why AGERO is like the most top tier, to me, in my opinion, motor club that has good call volume, because they expect they expect everything for you to give towards their clientele, the way how you will treat your relatives if you have them going away to somebody, the way how you want somebody to treat your mom and dad. That's how AGERO wants. Nothing but respect. If you don't give respect, you don't get results. If you give respect, you get results. That makes sense. So I compare it to YouTube because they don't dispatch their calls. It's like a AI type or a computer type that dispatch their calls. If you do, your calls accordingly and get your completion time, that stuff plays a factor. So how much do I really make with the AGERO? I'm going to pull it up on my tablet. This is only AGERO, no other motor clubs. I do more AGERO calls than anything. But if my other motor clubs are popping off, I'm going to do it. No doubt. Money talks, right? Money talks. So I'm going to pull up, of course, my battery thing is dying on my tablet because I can't never keep a charge. So yeah, I'm going to pull up my statistics, if I'm saying that word right. Certain words I can't say right, but I mean, as long as I do the job, right? So I'm going to Insights. The first thing I'm going to pull up is my performance, and I'm going to tell you like this. I'm not the perfect guy that I'm doing YouTube like I'm this perfect guy. I'm not. I drop calls just like everybody else, but there's a reason behind it, why I do it. and I'm not doing it because I want to. So I got my tablet up. So if you guys can see this, right here where my index finger is, my acceptance rate is 29%. No, I'm not proud of that. I'm not. 29%. Yeah, I need to get that up. And I understand that very much. I need to get that up, but I have control, because I was going to say I don't have control. I do have control. But if I got other calls that I got to do, I got to do those. But there's a reason behind the 29%. The 29% because I can't do all their calls. So I done 277, and I got 6,206. That's like almost for, I'm not going to say the month because I make more than that for the month for AGERO. Maybe. So that's almost average. I'm gonna go with that number because that's almost 80-90% right for that, because I'm thinking about a 30-day cycle, and I believe they go on a 45-day cycle, so that's kind of accurate. So I make about 6,000 with them for the month. Most of you guys can say, man, that's good. To me, that's not good. I need to be at least about 8 to 10, but I can't get 8 to 10 because I have other contracts, unless I just work day and night without a day off and forget my days off and just work 24/7, which that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm 29%. I'm not proud of that at all. I'm trying to get that up, but every time I try to get that up, other calls come in that I'm close by, so I'm going to do it. My completion rate is at a 95, well, close to a 96%. So I'm doing my calls on time, and they are looking at that. They are looking at that closely, because that's how you're going to determine your calls on what you get. And then my NPS score. The NPS score is basically what the customer is going to give you from a scale of 1 to 10. And you notice in some of my videos, I tell the customer, I'm not asking them. I tell the customer to give me a 10, because 1, this is my job. This is my life. This is what put food on my table. I take pride in what I do, and I take pride in what I take home. So yeah, I'm saying it in a polite way, but at the end of the day, I can't let a customer manage my money, what I'm going to get out for the week. So after all that labor that I did, sometimes these cars are very hard to do, with the lug nuts being stripped or swollen, or it's rusted under the car. You can't really jack it up, or the wheel can be stuck, or you're doing a lockout and you're just having trouble, and it's not you, it's the vehicle, because they never told you. So you're trying to figure out a plan B, how to get things done. So yeah, I'm not gonna put a customer in front of my money when it comes down for payment. I'm gonna be nice, but at the same time, you have to understand, if you let anybody put something that you have to get out, you're likely to get a bad score. Because 1, they don't really know, what's going on. They don't know if you're getting scores. Let me just give them an 8. Let me give them a 7. So you did a 7. You did all that work. You've been nice. You accepted the challenge of what they had, and you completed the challenge successfully. and you get a 7. That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I tell them, can you please give me a 10? It helps me get calls. And I'm speaking the truth, but I'm speaking it from the bottom of my heart because of what I did for them. And they need to understand, this is not a gig. This is not a side hustle. Some people treat it as a side hustle, but for me, this is not a gig. This is my work, what I do every day, get up every day to pay my bills with. So that's what I'm going to do. That NPS, your completion rate, is important with the AGERO to get your call volume. Second, the last one for, I believe, AGERO, and this is, like I say, my opinion of how I've been doing it, and it's been going well for me. The last one that's crucial is your cost. When I first started with AGERO, I was getting paid $24.50. $24.50 may not seem a lot, but to them, it is, because on how many providers they have down here where I live. I'm in Florida, so it's saturated with providers. Does that mean that everybody do the same work? No. Some of them can't do no work at all. And I'm not even BSing with you guys. I'm dead serious. There are some providers out here have no clue what they're doing, but yet and still they have a contract with the AGERO. Don't make sense to me. I'd have to do it every day. But yeah, your cost plays a part of it, because what the algorithm, if I'm saying that right, it's telling and searching for, 1, the cheapest person, 2, what is his completion rate, 3, how is he with the customers, that's the NPS. So if you have all 3 of those down pat, who's going to get the calls? Makes sense, right? And then that's the reason why my completion rate, no, not my completion, my acceptance rate is at 29, because I'm getting, and I believe I taught this to you in another video in the past, but I didn't break that down. I'm getting 952 jobs for that 45 days, because I did the most important thing. I dropped my price. Most of you saying maybe you're saying dude, you ain't getting paid as it is. I am. And that's the key to my other video, because with the AGERO, if you notice that sometimes these calls come out and let's say they request for a tire change, but they really wanted a tow. So now they don't even have a spare, and you just got a GOA going on a ride where you just got paid $15 for a job for something that you was thought that you was gonna get paid full price. AGERO has that mistakes because the customer don't do it right. It's not AGERO fault. It's the customer's fault. And this is the reason why I lower my costs, because I remember when I first started doing Roadside in 2018, and I'm not knocking these people who pay for this Google. Google is good. They give you your calls, but I just wasn't blessed to have Google to give me calls like that, and I was just spending money. So I was just giving away money. So I ditched Google and just tried to find something else what I can do for free. So what I did is, for about maybe 4 years, dealing with Google and it wasn't my best interest to stay with them because they was like a third party Google anyway. And I felt like they didn't do anything for me. So after the 4 years, I decided, like, this doesn't work. My calls are not up to par where I want it to be. So I started falling off with AGERO. So got on the phone, asked them, what is the problem? What's going on? Guy told me, your completion, your NPS, everything is good. So what's the problem? The problem is your costs. Even though I'm at 2450, that's still a higher number because some of these roadside guys out here, they're doing it for about maybe $18, maybe $20. Heck, I heard some people down in Miami is doing it for 12. I don't want to get that low, but dang. So he had a suggestion that I can be in the competitive market, which that includes being at 21, flat rate. You do not get any mileage. Yes, you do not get any mileage. You heard me right. It doesn't matter where you go, you don't get any mileage. So that's one of the, losses and flaws you're going to have to deal with. And the other flaw, the amount of calls you're going to have to get to bounce back of calls that you used to do to make that money up. But that's the catch. Once you lower your costs, and it only took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks for this to settle down, for my costs to start going down. And I started noticing that trend, like, man, my volume is going up. So, because I didn't believe the guy. So I started looking at the dollars in my insights. Once my dollar amount on my call starts to go down, my call volume starts to go up. So now I was at maybe 200 for the month. Now I'm up to 3. Now I'm up to 4. But completing these calls and getting these 10s, the NPS, the customer surveys, getting these 10s boosted up even more. And what I learned, if you do get a bad score with the AGERO for your customer service, let's say if you get a 3 or a 0, don't panic. Do not panic. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't go out there and try to be somebody who you're not to try to get a 10. Keep being yourself. But number one thing is to go out there and make sure that you tell them that you need a 10. That's the first thing for your business. Take pride in your work. But beyond that, it would take 10 10s to move that score back up or to make it stay the same. So that's why I say don't panic. If you're averaging 12 or 13 calls a day with AGERO, you got nothing to worry about. Unless you just getting all zeros on most of your calls. Then you got something to worry about. But if you take pride in your work, it's okay, because you are going to have one of those customers that, going to be that way because they're people, and people sometimes can be spiteful. And I'm not saying that to hurt anybody's feelings, but you got some people in this world, man, that, just don't care. And that's just the way how it is. Deal with it, move on. Do not let it bother you, because it can mess up your whole day. So this is why my not my completion rate, but my acceptance rate is so far down, is that I cannot do all of those calls. And the thing about that, I even shorted my hours, thinking that maybe it'll take a few hundred off my call offers, and it didn't. The way how it works is just like YouTube on an algorithm. If you putting in your work and you getting results, the AGERO algorithm is saying Mr. Quick Pick is doing phenomenal. We need to get him more calls. We understand that his acceptance rate is not up to par, but man, look at these numbers down below. Customers are on point. He gets to his calls, and not only that, his costs. He's not complaining. But there's a catch. My cost is 21. Like I told you in the other video, this is how I do my leads on why I don't have Google. That's the number one thing, and I had to think. It took me 4 years to think about that. Yeah, and it's been working for me ever since, and I'm not going to say it's going to work for you, but for my add-ons, for my keys, as you notice, I do have tire machines. I do batteries. I will sell anything that I can do that's going to take me 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes or less. I don't have to be there all day to make $1. These are my add-ons of what I do on why I lowered my cost to 21 so I don't have to pay for Google. I can work from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. getting leads to pay me to make my money. Even though I'm getting paid for AGERO, which is, last week I got paid $800. That's just for AGERO only. $800 for that week. I'm not counting U-Haul. I'm not counting NSD. I'm not counting Roadside Protect. I'm not counting my key jobs or my batteries with 1-800 batteries. This is just U-Haul. $800. That's a pretty good number for me. But I usually get, about 1,000 a week with AGERO. But I've been taking up the calls because they're coming out. And like I told you guys before, if you guys don't have U-Haul and you're a service provider, you have a U-Haul in your area, you need to get it. Because they're paying you about maybe $120 to change batteries, $150 to swap out a tire. Then the nights you get paid even more. Don't break your neck for something when you can get it if you have all your credentials right. I'm just saying. It's just like being a mechanic, man. You want to get paid for what you do. You just don't want to suffer all the time. And that's how, I'm not saying I treat AGERO like that, but I do my work. Don't get me wrong. Every call that I do, I make sure that I give my 110%. Some of these calls are not worth it. Some of the people may not be worth it, but at the end of the day, my smile is on because this is my job. I cannot leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth because of what their negativity that lash out with them, and then it got on me. Because at the end of the day, they're going to leave with that. If I'm just being positive and they're being negative, they have nothing to say about me. Maybe they just may call me a punk. That's about it. But they can't say anything about my work ethic. Like he didn't do this freaking job or he talked back to me. They can't say anything. But yeah, call me a little punk. That's it. I can take that. But yeah, let me pull up the pay for AGERO if I'm doing this right, because they change their stuff all the time. So let me go into insights. Okay, so this is a breakdown And if you see any lower amounts, that's because I got more jobs with like batteries and stuff like that. So as you can see, like I got some 500s, like some 600s, some 800s. So I average about maybe between 7 and 800 with the AGERO every week. You know, the amount of calls that I get from them. So I think that's a pretty good number for one motor club. And like I told you, I have 7. So multiply that number times 7. And then you can do the math for everybody else. And this is not a bragging game. This is to help other people to understand that one motor club is not going to pay everything what you need. Even though you want to do their jobs 100% of the times, there are going to be those times where you're going to have other jobs that pays more. And you have to make a business decision to do that. And my job, to me, like I've been saying to myself since I started this channel, is to help the people that want the help, not help the people that's looking for quick money. This is made for people that want a career out of it, not quick money. And I got nothing against you guys that make the easy dollar, but we're signing contracts and making a career out of this. Those are the people I'm talking about. And I always say to myself, and I say to you guys sometimes too, just don't be a body. Don't just get up and work. Work for a purpose. Work because you need it to get things done for your goal. Be somebody because you are somebody. Everybody has a skill. God did not create anybody on earth without a skill. You just don't know it yet. And sometimes it just takes a few years or whatever, a decade to understand it. But everybody has a talent. You just got to understand, you got to find it. And if you are doing this roadside, something led you to it. You have to think about that too. Something led you to it. You may seen a video. You may seen a car rolling by. You may seen a guy jacking up a car, changing tires. Say, man, I can do that. That's all signs of giving you hope on something what you can do to make yourself successful and bring you money and income in if you're having hard times at your other job and if you're doing the same thing. Those are all signs. And I'm not trying to get spiritual or religious, but you got to understand the signs when they come, because sometimes it can break you and you have to be flat broke to understand. But sometimes it just takes one person or a video to make you understand, like, I get it now. And that's what it took me to understand from a person point of view, to bring me down, to make me understand that I am better than that. And that's the sign that I got. And this is how I got here today. And I don't regret it, because all these calls that I got, they can be gone tomorrow if I take it for granted. Because I just don't want to be a body. I got the call, so now I can just lay back. I can't. This is my job, what I have to do. I have to make sure that, anybody else who's in my household, I'm the man up. And I want everybody, because there's enough money in this world what people can make. I'm just letting you guys know. And I want to help people who wants to help me. It's just vice versa. But this is my video. I just want to share you guys what I make with AGERO. Like I said, I'm not that rich guy, but man, I hustle day and night, man. I'm gonna take that back because I have not been working nights for a while, and I ain't even gonna cap on that. So I take that back. But in the daytime, I am hustling. I'm hustling because I have a purpose. I have a vision, what I need to accomplish. I have a daughter that I need to put in school. I have goals, got accomplishments. This is MT Roadside, man. My name is Maverick, and I ain't no stranger, man. And those who leave me comments, man, about anything or like the insurance, you want this, I usually charge for it, but I don't even charge for it no more, man, because when you give, you still receive. So, guys, if you got comments and you want to try to start something, you're trying to start it, leave that comment. And speaking of that, I was trying to do a $50 raffle and nobody left any comments. I'm not BS. I wasn't BSing about it, but in this world today, you know, everything is fraud, so I understand that. But yeah, man, if you guys need any help with Roadside, man, I'm not the perfect guy. I'm not the best guy, and I'm not the best in the world or what I do. But I do what I got to do to make sure that, you know, my job is 100%, and I kind of know the do's and don'ts when it comes down to try to run the business or whatever. But man, yeah, leave a comment, man. Subscribe. You know, hit that notification bell. All you Roadside people, man, we can grow together, man. One head is better than two. But yeah, this is my video. Just want to take time and give you guys, you know, a little talk time instead of just seeing me out there working. Just because I get calls, that don't mean that I'm frustrated. So yeah, I just want to give you that info. Like, subscribe, comment. Send you another video when I can, man. All right, have a good one.